Welcome back to the Week 13 edition of my NFL Pick'ems. I hope that everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know that I personally did. But before I go any further, I want to recognize one of my favorite football players ever and a life that was cut way too short 11 years ago today. Watching Sean Taylor in Miami made me fall in love with this game as a kid, and he contributed to me being the crazy football fan that I am today. Even though I was disappointed when he was drafted by a division rival, I was ready to watch him go have the greatest career of anyone to ever play at the safety position. I'm going to be posting my first scouting report for the 2019 NFL Draft this week, so make sure you subscribe so you can check that out and let me know what you guys think about it. Also, let me know the names of some players that I should do scouting reports for in the future in the comments below. Now, on to Week 13. There's been a lot of transactions already this week because teams are at the point this season of accepting their fate and shutting guys down for the season, so it's going to be hard for me to pick those teams moving forward or even defend their chances of winning. But I'll give it a shot if there's a team that I could see playing spoiler down the stretch here. Here are the top picks from Week 12 with Nick C and Dick Barba tied in the top spot. And these are the leading entries overall in this Pick'em challenge, with Alan the God holding on to that top spot once again, but there are a ton of people right on his tail like Willie D, RK Knoll, Golden Eagle, Fisher, Alonzo, Segurman, Caesar. All those guys are still striving for that overall leader spot. On Sunday, I felt like I was having an awful week once again, but I forgot that I'd gotten all three Thanksgiving Day games right, so that made my week feel a little bit better. I'm 74th overall right now, which seems about right on par with my life as a C+ student. Last week was the first week in 12 weeks that we didn't hit our weekly goal of 500 likes, and honestly, I'm not even disappointed about it. I've been cranking out a weekly video for 3 months, and you guys have hit the goal each and every single week. So when it's a holiday week, and I'm sure things were as hectic and crazy for all of you guys as it was for me and all my family members, I didn't even think twice about it because I know that we can get back to business here and hit it this week. So help a brother out, like this video, and subscribe if you have an unhealthy NFL obsession like I do. By the way, there's no bye weeks anymore, so that means we've got a full load of NFL games this week. Let's not waste any more time and get into these picks. On Thursday Night Football, we've got Saints at Cowboys. This was an interesting move by the NFL to take two teams that played on Thanksgiving and match them up on Thursday Night Football the following week. It basically just delays their extra few days off for another week. The Saints continue to roll through their schedule almost with ease, and the Cowboys are 3-1 since trading for Amari Cooper. This is shaping up to be one of the better Thursday Night Football games of the year. I've been impressed with the Saints' ability to take a team out of their preferred identity and force opponents to adjust to them. That's easier said than done, but the Saints have a team capable of grinding it out with a ball control offense, or they could just drop 40 on you instead. Against the Cowboys, you have to think Sean Payton will force Dak Prescott to try and keep up with Drew Brees because the ball control offense will play right into the Cowboys' favor. I think it's going to get into a shootout and the Cowboys won't be able to keep pace. Saints win 38-30. Ravens at Falcons. The Ravens are 2-0 in the Lamar Jackson era, and they shouldn't look back. I honestly hope Joe Flacco got a chance to speak with John Gruden this past week while he was in town, because I could really see those two hooking up for a couple seasons. The Falcons' playoff hopes went up like a Tim Allen turkey on Thanksgiving night after losing to the Saints. I'm actually really excited to see Lamar Jackson in a dome with this fast track, and I don't buy the Ravens saying that Joe Flacco might play or might start. That's just to force the Falcons to take time out of preparing just for Lamar Jackson to also prepare for a completely different style and quarterback with Joe Flacco. I'm assuming even if Flacco plays a little, it's mostly going to be the Lamar show once again, but the Falcons have the speed on defense to keep him in check just enough to pull this one out. Falcons win 28-27. Broncos at Bengals. The Broncos are playing really well right now, and they're also in playoff contention. Meanwhile, the Bengals just got dominated and embarrassed at home by the Browns. Andy Dalton was put on IR this week, and with that, the Bengals season is essentially over. This one to me seems like pretty much a lock. Broncos win 33-17. Rams at Lions. The Rams are back after their bye week to put the final touches on their quest for the #1 seed in the NFC, and the Lions just shut down Marvin Jones for the season. It looks like these two teams are going in very different directions right now, and the Rams should handle the Lions pretty easily. Rams win 28-20. Cardinals at Packers. The Cardinals are on pace to finish with one of the top 2 or 3 picks in the 2019 NFL Draft, and even though the Packers are playing poorly, I don't see them playing spoiler here. The Packers are a much better team at Lambeau, and they're not technically out of it, so it makes sense for them to take care of the Cardinals here. Aaron Rodgers actually tutored Josh Rosen a little bit before the draft this year, and I don't think that he's going to allow himself to be outplayed by this rookie at home. Packers win 33-24. Browns at Texans. This is surprisingly one of the best games that's going to be on during the early Sunday afternoon games. The Browns had some drama to deal with this week following the game with the Bengals, based around Demarius Randall and Hugh Jackson, and then Hugh Jackson and Baker Mayfield, and I never really like a team having to deal with non-football distractions during the week. Meanwhile, the Texans were so embarrassed by losing to the Giants in week 3 that they've turned around and won 8 straight games, and for some reason, it seems like they're still flying under the radar. I'll put the Texans up against any of the AFC elite teams because they can do it all much like the Saints, but they also have the most dynamic quarterback in the league right now, and he's not even really being talked about in the MVP discussion because he got off to such a slow start. The Browns ended their 25-game road losing streak last week, so let's not get carried away and say they do it again this week. Texans win 34-31. Colts at Jaguars. The Colts had a close game with a lesser opponent in the Dolphins last week, but they did what good teams do. They found a way to win. Eric Ebron has been the player that the Lions thought that they were getting when they drafted him above guys like Odell Beckham Jr. and Aaron Donald in the draft, but losing Jack Doyle was a big loss for the passing game too. Frank Reich is a Coach of the Year candidate, but man, I wish he would stop throwing the football to his franchise quarterback. The Jaguars fired their offensive coordinator this week and also demoted Blake Bortles to backup duty, meaning Cody Kessler gets the start. Both of these moves at the same time kind of feel like overkill, and I would have liked to see one or the other. They should give Bortles one last chance with a play caller that isn't afraid to call an aggressive game plan on offense, then bench him for Kessler if he's still playing like trash. But we already know that Cody Kessler ain't it, Chief. On top of all that, Leonard Fournette was suspended one game for his fight with Shaq Lawson. Colts win 28-13. Bills at Dolphins. The Bills won their second game in a row against a reeling AFC team, and lo and behold, they get another on their schedule this week. Only this Dolphins team is more organized and less dysfunctional than the Jets and Jaguars, and I know that that's not saying much. If the Colts game didn't take too much out of the Dolphins, they should win this game at home. Dolphins win 23-16. Bears at Giants. The Giants choked away a game again last week that they should have won. They were my upset special, and I got burned down the stretch 2 weeks in a row by my upset specials. The Bears might have Mitch Trubisky after a few extra days of rest following their Thanksgiving win, but even if they have to play Chase Daniel again, I'd bank on that defense coming through. Bears win 24-17. Panthers at Buccaneers. I really can't believe that the Panthers have fallen off like this. Christian McCaffrey had a career game and still wasn't enough to beat the Seahawks last week. It also blows my mind how Graham Cano made such a clutch 60-plus yard field goal earlier this year, but then misses much easier game-winning kicks for them. The Buccaneers are one of those teams that I could see pulling off an upset in the last month of this season, but I really can't see the Panthers losing 4 in a row, because if they do, Ron Rivera might be getting fired soon because that would be an epic collapse. Panthers win 35-28. Chiefs at Raiders. The Chiefs have had 2 weeks to sit on the fact that they put up 51 points in the game and still lost. Now they head to the black hole to take on the Raiders. The Raiders put up a fight, I'll be surprised, but I really expect the Chiefs to roll in this one. Chiefs win 35-14. Jets at Titans. The Jets have to be getting ready to just tear it all down because they looked awful recently, and there seems to be little signs of life. The only way the Jets will have had a chance of winning this is if they have to play against a team that plays down to their competition. Oh, well, would you look at that? That's exactly what the Titans do. The Titans might keep this game close because that's just what they do, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here and say that they won't allow a team with nothing to play for beat them at home. Titans win 23-17. Vikings at Patriots. This is actually a really good NFC-AFC matchup in a week full of crappy games. The Vikings won a crucial game against the Packers on Sunday Night Football last week, but still took an L in the form of Xavier Rhodes, who likely tore his hamstring and will probably be out for a while. The Patriots took care of business against the Jets last week, and Rob Gronkowski was able to shake some of the cobwebs in the process. These Patriots are a different team at home, especially this season more than ever, and Belichick is really good at stopping quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins. I'm sure he'll still get his garbage stats, but he's just not great under pressure. Patriots win 38-34. 49ers and Seahawks. The 49ers woke up to some of the worst news possible right before their game with the Buccaneers with the arrest of linebacker Reuben Foster. The team announced immediately that they're going to release him, and just like that, a first-round pick was wasted after only a few years. Fortunately for them, they're only a few more losses away from locking up the #1 overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. The Seahawks are playing way better than I anticipated, and Russell Wilson looks like an MVP candidate this month. Seahawks win 28-13. On Sunday Night Football, we've got a good one in Chargers at Steelers. This is definitely the game of the week for me. It would have been better with Melvin Gordon healthy, but we can save him for a potential rematch in the playoffs. Phillip Rivers was cooking last week against the Cardinals and broke NFL records for single game completion percentage and the single game consecutive completions. So the Chargers have to be confident they can let Melvin Gordon rest for a few weeks before the playoffs, and the offense won't skip a beat with Austin Eckler and possibly the deepest group of wide receivers in the league. The Steelers have been playing in quite a few close games recently, and it finally caught up with them in Denver. This one should also be another close one, but I expect it to be like a Diet Chiefs-Rams game. You guys know I love the Chargers this year, and I'm excited to see them with Bosa back, but I still expect them to come up short in moments like this until they show me otherwise. Steelers win 42-35. On Monday Night Football, we've got Redskins at Eagles. The NFL probably expected this to be a more appealing and exciting matchup when they set it for Week 13, but here we are. The Eagles almost lost to the Giants, and the Redskins have Colt McCoy starting at quarterback for the rest of the year, or until further notice, because he may get hurt behind their depleted offensive line too. The Redskins probably peaked in early November, and the Eagles have been in a rut all year long, but the Eagles at least have a glimmer of hope that they can still make the playoffs if they win this division, and after DJ Swearinger's comments, I think it's going to be hard to do the same in that Redskins locker room. Eagles win 27-24. That's going to do it for my Week 13 picks. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. Remember, we're trying to reach a goal here of 500 likes, so if you enjoyed this video, help a guy out, hit the like button on your way out. Also, a couple people seem to actually like my last mock draft. That never happened. So if you haven't seen that yet, you should check that one out next. I'll put a link here for you to click on. I appreciate you being one of the legends that stays to the end, and I will see you all in the next video.